Senator Morlock, you had a question? Go ahead.
Just an inquiry, because we've talked about loyalty, and certainly it's personal to the Assembly member. But when you're making your payments as cities to CalPERS, their actuary computes the payment and you pay it. And so now we're reducing the investment assumption rate, and now contributions are going up. Maybe we should have done it, or CalPERS should have done it a little sooner, but that's just the way it is. But when you want to exit, they use a whole different discount rate.
Correct.
Could be like 2%.
I believe the TAP fund is it's either 4 or 2% is the discount rate that they apply to the TAP. So it is significantly different than what the PERF is currently set at.
So I'm trying to, like a layman, I'm looking at it and going, is that, I got to be careful here, but it almost to me seems like that could be fraud. That they have been undercharging you all along, because if you want to get out, it's 2%, but while you're in, it's 7.5%. And I'm just wondering if maybe your cities as consumers need to educate the board of CalPERS a little bit about, hey, you got to be consistent. It should be no worse or no better while I'm in or when I'm going out. Am I fair?
Absolutely, Senator. When you look at the TAP fund and the fact that it is super funded at 248%, you look at their asset allocations and what it's an incredibly conservative investment. And while you wouldn't yield a higher benefit amount, it is a much more stable benefit amount, which is why they put those terminated agencies in that pool. The PERF, the fund that we are all contributing to and drawing off of when we retire as a non-terminated agency, to try and meet the benefit promise. And because of some judicial cases regarding vested rights, the fund is a little bit more aggressive in their asset allocation, and it's quite frankly, as Mr. Tarando alluded to, it's a significantly larger fund, and so it's much more complicated than what I'm articulating. But a more realistic outcome is when you look at the TAP and look how incredible, the fact it's super funded. You take a look at that in comparison to what we have right now, and it is quite shocking. I was shocked to learn that the fund for terminated agencies was at 248%. And now, regarding the way we communicate with this, this is all uncharted territory for our cities. And as I said, I have spent significant amount of my time briefing hundreds of our city officials across California, and they're really at a loss because, as Assemblymember Dali mentioned, yes, these are benefits that were promised from councils, of previous times, and so they're new to this and just trying to figure out, what's going on. We are actively working as the League of California Cities to ensure that our city officials are educated, and we are trying the best we can to continue to educate them as to the challenges that we are facing. But because of the benefit promise and vested rights, we can tell them what's happening, but as of now, we can't. Without a legislative solution or a judicial remedy, we really can't do anything to modify benefits on a prospective basis. So as we've talked about, when you agree to when you enter an agreement to CalPERS with your employees, it's a 30-year to 40-year benefit promise based on market assumptions today. So again, it is a significant challenge. I don't think that anyone in this room anticipated the market crash of 2008. No one anticipated CalPERS would lose $67 billion in 1 year. Again, which is why these decisions are so difficult and why my members are ready and willing to be an active participant to see if we can do something to address these issues.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.